everybody. In today's episode, we're going to talk to Teacher Yahya. Welcome, Teacher Yahya.
Thank you so much.
Teacher Yahya has actually been one of our interns several years ago, and he went from intern to teacher. So he was an intern with us, and then he became a teacher with us. But now he's all grown up, and he is a public school teacher now. Woo!
Thank you again. I appreciate the festivities.
Yes, we have to celebrate it.
Of
Yeah,
course.
we have to. So I want to just talk to you about your internship experience, because what I want people to know, for those who are interested in knowing and want to be an English teacher, I want them to know about the process of becoming an English teacher and like developing themselves to be an English teacher. Really, any teacher, teacher of any language, but more specifically an ESL teacher. So tell us kind of about your humble beginnings. I know they start here, but
For sure. I mean, after I graduated in 2019, I really figured out that my resume was lacking. Didn't have much experience, and I myself didn't feel that I had any competence to bring into the table. So my best, let's say, options at the time were either finding an internship or continuing my studies. At that point, I felt like I needed to gain experience and know what the workplace for English graduates felt like. I happened to, look up this place and stumble on it, and I went for it. Applied, managed to have one great job interview. I never thought job interviews were easy. And I don't think they ever were. You just made me really comfortable, and I felt at ease, and I started answering questions and making comments on, let's say, my experience in university and all. So that's really how it started, and the general idea of I would say people or Moroccans in our, let's say, communities is that internships are just you getting in a job but not getting necessarily paid for it, or you just go there and you don't gain anything, you just sit there until the internship period finishes, and then you're left there with somewhat, let's say, just empty experience. Fortunately for me, my experience and internship were the best period of my life, because I managed to learn so many things. I was fresh out, like trying to get out of my comfort zone, and I noticed you were pushing me out of it really hard, and I gotta give it to you. I learned quite a lot of things from administrative work, from observing so many competent teachers at that period. I think there were 4 of you.
I think so too.
Yeah, there were 4 of you. There were you, Mr. Zakaria, Ibada, and Yasmin, and I had plenty of things to note down, and to come up with things by the time I would be experienced in teaching in the classroom, which was a terrifying idea at that time. it was, and the fact that I had the chance to take in some groups and experiment, try things, fail, try things and succeed. That was an amazing part of the experience. And the internship was not just limited to teaching itself or observation. It was also through the process of gathering material and knowing how to manage myself, manage my time, manage my resources, and also be careful about those resources that I use, because some of them, of course, I didn't have the right to use it right now. So yeah, an experience that was overall not just limited at the center, but even outside of it, because I also had tasks to do outside, to let's say talk with the community, to distribute flyers, and to gather data for the center, and even for myself as an ESL teacher. So it felt I was stepping out of a huge bubble of comfort, because the way things were in the faculty were just limited to academic work and readings.
Yeah.
And there wasn't much movement or trying things or staying on the internet in order to gather as much information to develop myself as in my career. So I'm doing a lot of speaking here, but
no, it's good.
those 6 hours of let's say interning every day for 5 days a week was plenty of let's say it's like a sandbox experience where I had to build things, let them crumble, and try new things. It was really like let's say my laboratory of experiments. Then I felt like I was a part of the experiments too.
You were.
And eventually I was learning a lot from that, and I was really I don't know, maybe I was the luckiest intern back then, but I remember having like to teach like 2 groups or so, and it was wonderful because I managed to connect with those people and build relations that are of course professional and at the same time beneficial to me as an ESL teacher, because I needed to learn how to deal with that stuff. You know, thinking like back at the university, you think you know how to do stuff until you don't.
Yeah.
So the internship phase was really an interesting one, and one that I always keep looking back to. And thank God that I landed my first internship here with someone who had a plan, who knew like the steps which I needed to cover, the resources I had to be aware of, and that felt really nice, because it wasn't the internship that we have in mind,
right,
as let's say the Moroccan community.
Right. It's true. This is why I tell people, I told you too, and I tell everybody who comes for interview for internship, this is not your typical internship. This is not the sit at the school, sit in the classroom and just watch the teacher. It is not that. It's very interactive and engaging, and you should be involved. On top of observing, yeah, absolutely, it's observing. That's a part of it, but you definitely have to be involved, because how else will you know? You won't know unless you're hands-on and you're touching things. I'm not talking about touching the students, but what I mean is actually being hands-on and doing things with them, kind of getting dirty. You know what I mean? And so a lot of internships, the idea is just I'm going to sit and I'm going to watch and I'm going to observe. That's tiring. That's boring. And you kind of reach your cap. And so with the internship at the center, it was more about how can I get people engaged and understand what it's really about, and feel it and sweat a little bit. I saw you sweating a couple of times. I knew you were sweating.
Yeah, it was. It definitely was. There were definitely times that were challenging where I was overwhelmed and behind on tasks. Sorry for that. But generally speaking, it was I loved what it brought. Being able to go through that stress and being overwhelmed was exactly what the professional experience is like. This is something that I had to manage and eventually deal with. Yeah. And it goes a long way, because it truly showed me, like, through my professional experience, that learning to manage stress and loads of tasks is an important thing.
Absolutely.
And having to deal with that at an internship level, I think that's really beneficial and gives you like a good idea of what professional life's like. Yeah.
It's true. It's very, very true. Can you remember anything specific from your internship?
Anything specific? I do remember a lot of things.
A scenario, a story. Nothing too bad though. Nothing too bad.
Nothing too bad. I don't remember Yasin, the guy who was with you. Who was with me in the internship. And I remember you were coming in and asking us if we were working hard or hardly working on the newsletter. Yeah, Yasin, are you working hard or hardly working? To which the answer was clear. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, yes. The newsletter, I remember that was interesting. I never knew what a newsletter was back then, but then I had to make one, and with the company of Yasin, then it definitely was challenging. You know how they say you can't, certain things are tough when you got two people wanting to take a lead. Everyone had an idea in mind on how to do things, and we had to compromise and come to an agreement. So yeah, I remember the newsletter specifically.
Everyone still does a newsletter. That's like a part of the whole training, like manual, so to speak. That's like maybe what's that, week 2? I think that's week 2, maybe week 3, where you do a newsletter, because at that point you should be familiar with what we offer, what we do, and kind of what you have gotten yourself into. So create a newsletter so you can show that you understood and you know the services and so on and so forth.
Sort of like getting out of theoretical and going to the practical. Practical.
So you went from awesome intern to teacher. Woo! How was that transition from intern to teacher?
I remember a speech that I wouldn't say like taught me for life. The way I was gonna deal with you, Yahya, as a teacher, as an employee now, is different from what I was gonna be with you as a trainer, right? I still remember that there was definitely changes, right? But positive ones, right? Because then there was more following up. There was, let's say, like somewhat like counseling each other, and it was, let's say, a nice transition. I felt like I was spotlight. I had to rise to the standards I was offered, and be more responsible. Not just because as an intern you can get away with things and it's like not as much when we've got a professional relationship going on. And I really appreciate it, and I had a wonderful period until COVID came.
Until COVID came, yes.
Yeah.
Until good old COVID.
Yeah, I remember that was like I was at my peak. I felt at that period, and we had to adapt with the situation.
It's true. Yeah, it's definitely different. Intern status, teacher status, two completely different statuses. And I figured I should tell you, just in case you thought, oh, this is going to be the same. No, sir. No, sir.
Well, there's expectations that should be met.
Yes, it's true. And I trusted you like I do with other interns too, because it's like now, it's kind of like when you have a baby, right? And the baby is like ready to walk. And so now you've helped that baby kind of start walking, so you trust the baby to walk. Now you set things up because you know he or she is going to fall. However, it's clear and the road for them is kind of paved because you've already shown them what to do. So that's what I at least tried to do, was kind of to trust you in the classroom with the students, because it's like, I know what I taught you. I should be confident in what you know and what you've displayed throughout your internship, so you should be able to display those things in the classroom with the students. And
the fact that you get so much, and this is something unique to this place, because outside, let's say, the center, it's not much the case where there's I would say like much following up. You really just stick to things that you're given. They don't really trust you with your instincts as a teacher. You're not given much freedom to try for trial and error. Where I believe that it's the most efficient way for teachers to grow. You can't really learn if you just stick to one thing. Of course, you need a curriculum, you need a program, you need to assess students. That's a part of the job. That I don't deny that should be done. However, teacher freedom is the most necessary thing, and unfortunately it's not available outside other centers. I cannot speak for all, and certain, let's say, private schools where they do insist on doing things their way, not the teacher's way, and that's a grave mistake.
I think so too, because the teacher is the one that's in the classroom, so they know the capabilities of the students, they know kind of how to manage the class, so on and so forth. Administration doesn't really know. Like, they could be in there, they'll observe every once in a while, but they don't really know. And so if you don't trust your teacher and his or her abilities, then how do you expect that the students are really going to learn? Because as administration, you can't be in the classroom every time. You can't teach the class every time. So you have to trust that the teacher has an idea of what to do.
Exactly.
And when you train, just to sprinkle a little razzle dazzle on there, when you train your teachers, you become more confident that they know what they're doing. And so if you've never trained the teacher and you just hire them and you don't know what their capabilities are, then you're going to be a little insecure, because you're going to be like, oh, this is going to mess up our student enrollment. No, the reason that I even started the internship is because what was I doing? Looking for good teachers. The best way to find good teachers is when you train them yourself. So, because you know what they're capable of doing. So.
Yeah, pretty much. I would say it's like the same experience we've got with our students. Whenever, let's say, they have to maybe do a competition outside, or maybe like do like public speaking event, you know what they're capable of, because of course they went through, let's say, hours and, let's say, many experiences with you in the classroom, so you're confident what they're doing.
Right.
So that level, I would say, of trust and I would say confidence you also give to people is really something that is appreciated.
Yeah.
And it goes a long way.
It does.
Yeah.
It does go a long way because it helps build the teacher up to know what they're able to do. And it's like, I could do that. I can try this in this way and try that in that way. And so now they are probably they don't notice it, but now they are developing professionally for themselves. So that skill they can take and use it anywhere. Not just with you, not just in a school, but they can take that experience and use it anywhere, which
that's
is great.
Pretty much what I'm doing right now.
So that's perfect segue. A perfect segue to the next question, which is how have you been able to use what you learned in your internship, your experience with teaching with us, and how have you been able to use that outside?
Well, definitely being able to go through the internship like helped shape a perspective that I have on things even outside, let's say, professional atmosphere. And I learned that really just going out of my comfort zone and trying things and taking responsibility is a great way to bring in, let's say, value and being useful, not just myself, but also others. Remember, I have to make myself useful. Of course.
All the quotes are so hilarious.
That's the way it came out, but you know, it translated in very beautiful aspects of my life. Since I guess I joined the let's say the teachers for 2024, let's say candidates in the national exams, let's say I volunteered to be the teacher rep. And I'm responsible for 35 other teachers now.
Say that again. You're what?
Teacher rep, right?
Nice.
So I'm dealing like with the professors, the administrations, keeping, let's say, in mind and sharing, let's say, all sorts of news on career development options, like meetings, seminars.
Nice.
Pretty much doing or repeating what I've been doing in the internship here, right? So I am, let's say, both training to be a teacher and also, let's say, helping my colleagues develop themselves through, let's say, the sheer experience I had, and they really appreciate it. I've received a lot of positive feedback from them. And you know, I'm like, you really are just giving this positive feedback to Miss Angelina, because otherwise I wouldn't have volunteered.
No, you're doing the work. You're putting in the effort. Yeah. That's good. I just kind of gave you the knowledge. Here's the knowledge. Yeah, put it in your brain, and then you do with it what you need to.
Exactly, and I hope, you know, one day that I'll be able to do the same. And it's amazing how much, let's say, positive impact I had through, let's say, the center. To the extent that people from the center are this center from the center in Casablanca are asking about where I had my professional experience, Western education, services and training. These guys, they're not just the center. They're American. Not just any types of Americans.
Not just
yes.
We're not your normal Americans.
No. Not the ones you see on TV, not the ones you have in the States who don't know. I don't know, like...
That's hilarious.
The Africa is a continent, not a country. Never mind, I'm not saying...
No, we don't know. Really, like just as a small side point, unfortunately, we're not taught geography very well in America. And if it's not about America, we don't really know it. Secondarily, Europe, but that's only even a little bit. We don't get to learn about the countries in the countries that are, let's say, in Africa specifically, and kind of how they've contributed to the world.
Yeah.
We don't know. If it's not America, then it's not very exciting, and we don't know about it. Unfortunately.
That's unfortunate. But yes, I always, let's say, come up with this line. And again, it's all thanks to the internship, the phase where I've been, let's say, really sharpened and, you know, shook off all the rust.
I've been sharpened.
I would say so, because as much as I appreciate academic experience, its progression is slow and boring at best. You know, and it's not bringing much value to the table and to the professional market. And unless you know how to do something, you really aren't bringing much to any type of profession, especially after you graduate.
Right.
And unless you get like a decent training or you know someone, right? So either you know something or you know someone. And then there you really, let's say, gonna struggle to find a place in the job market, which fortunately I had, I had known some skills there, which helped me outside to not just land one job, let's say, application, but multiple ones.
Good.
And I'm thankful for that. You know, so you need luck and skill to get through the internship. I'm not saying it's easy, and I'm not saying it's difficult, but it requires consistency.
It does. I agree. Consistency, because it has to be that you want to do it, which is also what I tell everyone who comes through for internship. Look, it's if you want to do it. I can't make you, right? If you're serious, I'm going to be serious, right? If you're serious, I'm going to help you to the best of my ability. But if you're not going to be serious, then there's no benefit in it for me. You have to do it because you want to, because you want to develop as a person, because you want to develop as a good teacher, and you want to use skills, you know, in your life. Not just because you just want to sit here and look at the beautiful flowers, because the flowers are not that beautiful as it relates to things to do and things that's going to help you in your life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a career. It's a career that you don't do because there isn't anything else for you to do.
Absolutely.
It's one that you should be really convinced of and love to do at best. Because one thing I would say, if you fail to continuously develop as a teacher, you're gonna fall off, and you're gonna fall off real hard. You need to be developing yourself, continuously reading, and not just about teaching related stuff, but also all sorts of, let's say, developments, like say artificial intelligence or politics, news. You have to be out there, not just doing the job for the sake of doing the job,
right?
Which unfortunately certain people do because they just don't have any other options. And I'm afraid I would say with my very little experience that those people who do this profession out of lack of options, they're not the best at it.
True. It's true. And it shows in the classroom. And the students are a representation of that, unfortunately. When you know like what you're doing, and not that you just know what you're doing, you know what you're doing, plus you're devoted to this, it's going to show in your classroom. And like you said, the opposite's also going to show in your classroom.
Yeah, of course. Whenever, let's say, there's love for the profession, there will be dedication and effort outside the classroom.
Right.
Most of our job is fortunately done through good planning and research. And if we manage to do that outside the classroom, then we're gonna have an easy time in it.
True.
And yeah, it's an amazing profession because people think that 1 hour or 1 hour 30 or 2 hour session is a very long time to be standing in front of people. But once you get into it, once you really have made yourself comfortable within the walls of the classroom, it's where you really have an easy time. And it takes time to get used to. There will always be, let's say, some anxiety before you get into the classroom. But once you get into it, it's like you've been, shifting like into gear.
Yes, it's true. It's true. You just adjust, kind of. You adjust to the students, you adjust to the environment, all that good stuff. So, before we go, I have a question.
Yeah.
What is one skill you think all English teachers need in the classroom? Like, the one skill you're like, I'm sure every teacher needs this skill. This is the skill that needs to show up in the classroom.
I would say being adaptable.
Okay.
You know,
Adaptability is important, yeah.
yeah, I would say, you know, as much as you know the subject
Mm-hmm.
and as much as you know, let's say, your plan,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes sticking to the plan is not the ideal choice for you to
True.
stick to in the classroom. And I'm not just talking about lesson plans there, I'm talking also about maybe you came prepared to use certain aids in, let's say, flashcards, or maybe the printer you're counting on it to work. Fortunately, electricity is off.
Yep, that'll work.
I would say you have to be ready to bring about plan B, or you are ready to be using the board and, let's say, the marker. Worst case scenario, you're gonna have to use some realia in the classroom. So you need to be ready for the unexpected.
True.
You know, generally speaking, it helps to have a plan B.
Absolutely. I'm all about plan B. Because it's necessary. You
Yeah.
don't know. Like you said, anything could fall apart. You could walk in, no electricity. The printer's not working. There's a long line from the printer, for example, and you're not going to make it in time to, be on time to start your class. Anything can happen. Okay, so what should I do now? Oh, I wasn't prepared for a plan B. And then it can become disastrous.
Yeah.
And nobody got time for that.
And especially you have to reserve your status as a teacher and preserve it. You are
True.
someone who is trusted, not just by your employees and the administration, but also by your students.
True.
And standing there helpless, not knowing what to do, is really something I wouldn't wish to anyone.
It's not a good look.
Yeah.
It's not a good look at all.
Yeah, you have to, it's somewhat, let's say, of an opinion that I have, but it's really important to preserve your status as a teacher. You are the man of the moment, so you need to stand up to it, and
True.
man or woman, okay, not being sexist.
I understood. Don't worry.
Right. Yeah, you need to, of course, rise to, let's say, the expectations and be the problem solver.
True.
As a teacher, you have a lot of free time to come up with all sorts of scenarios.
True.
I do think that planning things on paper is good, but also running scenarios in your mind is something that is also good to have.
Yes.
You never know what to expect.
It's true. You don't know what to expect. Well, thank you, Teacher Yahya. I
most welcome,
appreciate you. And we got actually everything working now. So, unlike the last time, we won't talk about that. But now everything working.
Thank God, no neighbors, no machines, no noise in the background.
Nothing, none of that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Yahya.
My pleasure.
Next time. Got to do this again. Another topic next time.
Of course.
When you're free.
I'm most happy. I'm in for a conversation about anything.
Cool.
Have
Good.
a good day.
Good.